Hello friends, welcome on in. I'm excited to be bringing you some more LEGO fun today with a build of Paper Mario, our little friend right here. We're going to be showing you how to build this guy in celebration of Origami King, which came out actually today. So let's dive on in and get this adorable little guy built. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to keep up with all of the LEGO building fun that we bring you, whether it's custom LEGO builds, highlights of our builds, tutorials, set reviews as well, lots of fun stuff that we do here. And I want to note, we actually do a lot of that stuff live first. So Paper Mario was actually created live on Twitch. So if you guys want to keep up with all the crazy stuff that we're doing on our live streams, whether it's building stuff for you guys, building sets together, you know, coming up with our own crazy creations like the Nintendo Switch behind me here, make sure you guys come by, hang out, and tune in there as well. Alrighty, so obviously our goal with this guy was to keep him as flat as possible. You can see he's quite thin when you turn him on his side, especially if you consider that really it's just like, you know, one brick or maybe like 4 or 5 plates worth of area is actually what allows him to be as flat as he is, but still look like Mario from the front. We've obviously got some supporting structure because there's lots of funky stuff going on. And then all we really need to do is take him apart so that we can bring him back to life and show you how to build him, guys. So let's do that up. Alright, now that we've got all 90 or so pieces laid out for our Paper Mario, it's time to build him. So let's get it going. We're actually going to start with kind of his body, which I went with a 4x4 blue round plate, because I felt that was kind of a nice base for, you know, the rounded shape of our Paper Mario friend. So we're just going to be getting on some of the details here. Use some curved tiles here to give us a little bit more of a smoother front. We've also got some plates on here to allow us to connect some of the important details that are going to be necessary for this guy. So we've got a little bit of an L-shaped tile going there. And then we're using these yellow round 1x1 tiles, as they do on the actual LEGO Super Mario, the new one that's coming out in August, to give him the look of his buttons, which I think works quite well here. A 1x1 tile to imply that he's got his shirt underneath there. And then there's a jumper here, which you will see why we're going to need that in just a little bit. Next up, though, we're going to go ahead with his feet. So his feet are a little unique in how they kind of get connected. And we're going to do this up first. We're doing some cheese slopes to give him a little bit more texture to his shoes. There's a little bit of white to kind of show like he's got like a sole on his shoe there. And then this guy is actually going to be his right foot and goes right in there. Admittedly, when I was doing this up in studio, because there is a digital file available for this, so you can go and download it and dive in it on how to build this a little bit better. You know, I found that this was creating a collision, but it seems to sit quite nicely like this. You can see it's staying on quite securely, so I don't really see a problem with it if it works like that. And then we're just going to do his other foot here. Pretty much the same thing. It's a slightly different back to it. Sideways to connect everything there. Cheese slope again to give him some texture. And then this guy's going to go into the bottom here with a 1x1 plate on the back, which we will see why I put that there in just a little bit. Alright, and then let me actually, did I put that in the wrong spot? Oh, you know what it is? Okay, sorry. This one goes like this. There we go. Now we've got a proper kind of layout of his feet there. We can rotate that out a little bit too, give him a little bit more. So we got Mario's body and his feet, and I think the natural next part for us to bring to life is going to be his arms. So we're actually going to grab this corner tile here and the red 1x2 plate, followed by the 1x2 plate in white. We're going to do the 2x2 tile on top of that, and then another rounded 2x2 plate with holes. And that's going to go right on here and give him some nice shaping for his arms. So it looks like he's kind of like doing that little runner shape there, right, in his Mario pose. And then this guy is going to be his other arm, which is kind of standing upward, so he's going to be like launching forward. No angle in this arm, unfortunately. Not enough space, really, I found, to kind of make it work. But I think once this goes on, it's going to look like good. We're using the plate with the hole, that way it can go right into the middle of his hand. And then this guy is going to go right on the middle in the back. And you can see we can have it kind of angled up and even angle his hand up a little bit. And I think you can already see that Mario shape kind of come together. Now, I mentioned that black plate earlier, and that's because I created a little bit of a backing for this guy here, just to help hold some of the pieces on the back in place and give us a way to connect it to like a stand or maybe whatever scene we're kind of building out. There's also a tile on here to just kind of, you know, put some pressure against 2 of the different parts here. You'll see this is going to wedge in right here, and I think we might need to adjust his arm angle a little bit. Yeah, to get that to fit. You can see that kind of sits there, and then it kind of locks everything in a little bit. So it's nice and easy, secure, and it also makes for an easy way to hold it all. So that's good as well. Next up, we're gonna start with his face. So we're actually gonna start with the way that we kind of connected his neck basically. And we used a snot brick with a curve slope here. And you guys will get to see how that gets connected in a little bit. But we're gonna kind of build out how this all comes together. So we've got this here, this guy here. And if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure this go down or up. This goes down. Okay, yeah. Because I think on the next layer, no, it actually does come up. It does come up. Sorry, I have a corner plate here, and I gotta like look at it and like figure out which way it goes, but it's gonna go up like that. And then we're gonna lock this in with a 1x3 plate, a 1x3 plate here as well. And actually, no, before we do that, we need to put in the 2x2 plate that's gonna be above it, and it's actually partially connected to that corner. And that's gonna all get locked in. That guy there. And then this brick is gonna go here. Now I want to know, in the studio file, I did something slightly different in this area. I'm leaving it as is just because I didn't want to grab the pieces, but I did, use one of the corner bricks to actually do this, and that left that stud open, and then I was actually able to connect these here, make the whole build just a smidge stronger. For my build, I'm not too worried about it, but it could be a good improvement if you're looking for a little bit more structural integrity. So we've got that there, and then we're gonna kind of get his face going. So that all builds off of the 2x2 plate. We're using these little modified tiles that are partially round with one flat side to give a little bit more shaping to his eyes, because even like a little bit of reflection on there kind of helps show that it's got some rounding to it rather than it just being flat. I really, really like that detail there. Definitely recommend, kind of always going that extra mile if you can. Finding ways to add a little bit more detail to your builds. It's always important, even if it's the smallest of details. I'm gonna do that again for his eyes there. And the eye not having anything in front of it kind of helps give that implication that like we're looking at it from the side, because it like cuts off in a sense, and that's kind of how you would see a face sideways, right? Like you just barely get to see the eye. So that's kind of the idea there. We're gonna put on his, the part that's gonna hold on his nose. And then we've also got the part that's gonna hold on the back of his neck, kind of. So that guy goes here. Gonna straighten that all out. And then that guy goes there. Boom. And then the next part that we're going to bring to life is going to be kind of his ears and his sideburn along his ears there. So we're using a corner or a quarter tile in reddish brown. And then for the ear, and I want to thank one of my viewers, Enio, on Twitch, for actually making the suggestion, because I couldn't think of any other piece at the time, and he had recommended it, and it ended up working out beautifully. We actually are using a gear on top of one of the new modified 1x1 tiles with the little point on it there, to actually make his ear. Because originally I was using a 2x2 tile, or a 2x2 tile with hole, and it looked okay, but it looked a little large. And this is a little bit smaller than that, so it ended up working fantastic. Thanks to Enio for suggesting that to us. Always good to build with friends, because you never know what kind of awesome ideas they might have for you. Next up, we'll actually do the nose afterwards. Sorry, I went in a little bit of the wrong order here. We're going to get a snot brick on here that's going to allow us to connect some cool parts, or important parts, I should say, of his face. I mean, yeah, they're cool, but they're also kind of essential. We're going to first do up his mustache. That's going to go in the middle there. I love that. If you could technically leave that piece blank, then he's got a little bit more of a concerned expression. He's going, ooh. And now we can actually put on the nose. I want to give you guys a full look at that. We're also going to just put on, his kind of, this would be the hair along the back of his neck. So that's actually kind of a really fun expression. I didn't even realize that when I was building this. But if you leave it off, he actually has a really funny, like, open mouth expression. But I really like him with a smile. So we grabbed another quarter tile in black, and that just gives him a really nice open mouth kind of smiling look, which is awesome. So that's his face there. And then that all gets connected by connecting the stud on the modified brick that we started with right onto his back there. And it goes on like that. And then with the way the spacing is there, you can actually angle it just a little bit to give his head a little bit of a tilted up look, which is awesome. Now we've got the final and most important part of Lego Super Mario, which is, of course, his hat. You just can't have Mario without his hat. It just really doesn't look the same. So we're using, making use of a couple of curved pieces here. So one of the 1x2 modified curved slopes, getting some 1x1 plates on here. This is a 1x2 plate on the bottom to allow us to connect the hat to the top there. We'll see come together in a second. Then we're doing a curved slope with this guy here, along with this modified 1x1 brick with 2 studs on it. And that's going to allow us to connect some stuff on the front. we're gonna start to put together now. So we got a nice, you know, kind of a curved bow here, 1x4 curved piece or curved slope, with some 1x2 plates and a 1x1 plate and 1x2 plate underneath it. Connects like that. And then the final, and maybe even the most iconic detail of all of it, is the little spot where his M would be. Of course, if you want to go custom, maybe get that printed or just write it on with a marker or something, I do definitely think that would look awesome. That goes right on there. And then last but not least, we're going to stick the hat on top of Mario. And boom, we have our little paper Mario. Woo woo. Wah! Wah! Woohoo! But I hope you guys enjoyed checking out this build. Again, we got the digital file and the instructions as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to me here so you can keep up with all of our Lego building fun here. And of course, on Twitch as well, you can watch a lot of this happen live. Otherwise, guys, thank you just so much for hanging out. Have a good one, and happy building out there.